Welcome back to another SUPboarder review, and this week you're looking at the Sunova Speed 8.5. Some of you may have heard of Sunova, some of you may not. Sunova, based in Australia, started making surfboards at least 20 years ago, behind the shaping legend of Bert Berger. And still to this day, they are arguably one of the best manufacturers of high-performance composite sandwich surfboards on the market today. And since 2012, they started making SUPs. The specifications for this Sunova we've been testing, which is the Speed, is 8'5" long, it's 27 inches wide, it's 4 3/8 inches thick, it comes in at 112 litres, only weighs 7.8 kilograms, and it retails at £1,265. The general overview of the shape, a relatively narrow for its length, square noseboard with a straight outline and a nicely pulled in tail. It comes in a thruster fin box setup, it has a 5-piece deck pad. The materials of the board, an EPS foam core, then it has a sandwich construction of glass, balsa wood, which you can see on the top and bottom of the board, and also carbon rails and cherry wood veneer fin plates by the FCS fin boxes. Who's this board for? It's aimed for a good intermediate to advanced SUP surfer of quite a wide range of weights. Okay, so moving on to our SUPboard impressions. This board is a very unique board. We've never seen anything like it before. The look, the finish, the way it's constructed. So we'll go over a few things now. So straight away you notice the balsa wood on the top and bottom. It's an outstanding finish of the board, and it looks like they've actually scratched black lines on top of the balsa wood, so it gives an amazingly good finish. The rails themselves, the construction of the rails, as I said, they're carbon, but they've also been finished off with a silver paint in a sort of flecking sort of style across it. Amazing at hiding paddle marks. This board probably has a few paddle marks, and we might have given them some paddle marks ourselves, but we can't barely see them because of the way the paint hides it, so that's very clever, the way the finish there. Moving on to the deck piece, as I said, 5-piece deck pad. Quite intricate to do that on, to put that on in different segments and everything, so it's really nicely finished, really grippy. It's a diamond EVA deck pad, but it's actually got even lines inside the diamond grips as well, so super grippy indeed. Nice tail kicker at the back there, nice and comfy on your foot. Looking also on the board, it's totally different. The handle, we've never tested a lift up sort of SUP handle, so you put your hand in and that comes up like that. Now when I first saw it, you think, oh, that's a bit weird, it doesn't look like the other handles we have, we put our hands in. Starting using it, it's so easy to use, and so you can pick the board straight up like that, nice and easy, carry it long distances. The really neat thing that I didn't think about when I started using it is when you're carrying it along, you can put the paddle in along there, and you can actually hold the board and paddle in one hand quite comfortably and walk quite a long way. I'm a believer, really like the handle. Slips back in, doesn't come out, doesn't get stuck, so that really works, nice and flush to the deck. Also got a mini windsurf mast track, a little micro one, about 2 inches long, so if you want to take it windsurfing, and a pressure valve as well. The other thing we like about the look of the Sunova is all the boards are hand signed by Bert himself, or the dimensions at the bottom there are written by him. It's a real nice personal touch. Every single board he's seen go out of the factory and been actually hand signed. It doesn't mean very much in construction, but it means a lot to the end buyer. Really feels like you're getting something from the top end shaper himself. Now let's have a look at the shape of the Speed. The deck of the board itself is quite domed. At the moment in the market we have boards that are quite flat across the deck with generally the same thickness rail as the deck, and we have boards that are domed like this one that come in and they have a slightly thinner rail because the deck is domed. So he's done that, so he's got a nice thinner rail on the board in general, but also the rail's got like a stepped edge, so it comes down and it sort of steps down again. You can't really see it on the camera, but if you feel these boards in the flesh, you can feel quite an obvious sort of stepped edge. And then what that does as well, holds a little bit more volume in the rail, but then you can still have a really performance rail to the board itself. So the rail itself, it's generally quite a sharp rail compared to other boards. Even at the midsection, it's got a flat edge, which is there to generate speed, to make the water flow off the side of the board quickly. And then moving back on the board, it has more of a sharper edge, which is then speed. So the rails are really smooth, really nice, and a really nice thickness throughout the whole of the length of the board. And especially at the nose there, the board is really thin, which aids the punching out through the waves. Looking at the outline shape of the board, it's generally not that wide for its length. So it's 27 wide. Most boards at 8.5 you'd be looking at sort of 29, 28 sort of thing. So it's a little bit thinner in width. Very straight outline to generate the speed. Stubby nose, square stubby nose there to give you a bit of stability in choppy water and ease in paddling on the wave. And then right here, there's a sort of hippie section where the outline comes in and then the board skews in at the tail. and that's to generate and really help the turning of the board. Because if you carry on having a really wide tail of the board's going to suffer on the turn. So he's come in quite dramatically in the last section to help the turning side of the board. Looking at the bottom of the board, we have quite a progressive rocker at the nose, so the nose doesn't catch, it always keeps out the water. Then it moves back to a relatively flat section near the midsection and a small amount of tail kick. So the board's really designed, as it says, designed for speed. The board starts off with a nice single concave, okay, which is quite obvious to see. Moving back, the single concave stays, slightly gets flatter, and moving back, the single concave is still there, but it's flattened out. So the board generally gets a bit flatter in this section. And moving back in between the fins, the single concave is still there. So what it's doing is when you're paddling in the wave, the water's getting forced at the back of the board, giving you lift all the time and forcing to the back of the board. Then at the back of the board, it comes across these channels, which are very deep, aggressive channels, let's say, beautifully shaped. You can see the EPS foam straight through them, and they're going to offer a large amount of grip and speed when this water's coming down and being forced out of the channels. Then moving on to the fins themselves, so we've got a thruster setup with 13cm side fins and a 12cm slightly smaller centre fin. Whether it's surfing or supping, a lot of top professional suppers and surfers slightly ride a slightly smaller centre fin at the back. Just helps them snap the turns and make the turns a bit quicker. The fins themselves are nicely finished, solid glass fins of a good shape and very stiff, so they really do aid the response to turning of the board. So what is the speed like to surf? Well, you guessed it. It should be fast, and it is fast. It's very, very fast. But it hasn't got a point where you think you haven't got enough control on the wave, which is a big, big bonus. Some boards you get on there really quick, but they're really skitty and they're out of control. This board has a lot of speed, and you can generate a lot of speed by trimming yourself in the right position on the board, but then you can also kill that speed and go into a turn. The board definitely has two sweet spots. It has sort of in the mid section of the board to generate speed and a lot of drive on the wave, but then it has the back section of the board which is there to make the board turn. If you ride the board in sort of halfway limbo land, the board generally doesn't turn as well as you think it would do, so you have to get your back foot right on that tail pad and really generate that turn. And then when you're there, it does respond well, which is why it really lends itself more to that sort of intermediate, advanced surfer, somebody who knows where their footwork is, who knows how to trim the board correctly. It does paddle in the waves really easily because of the straight outline and because it's just generally a bit narrower in the width, and after the channels and the slightly bigger fins, it tracks really easily paddling into the wave. So we did have a few intermediate riders using it, but you did notice that if their foot wasn't trimmed far enough back on the bottom turn or on the top turn, the board did tend to stall slightly. But this is more to do with being able to ride the board correctly than actually the board itself, because it is designed as a speed machine with a sweet spot to plant your foot to be able to turn as well. Any negatives, downsides to the Sunova Speed? The board is absolutely perfect and I really can't fault it. The only slight downside is being able to see one in the flesh. They are an internet-based mail order company. They do have dealers around the world in different areas, so you're going to have to go on the internet and find your local dealer to see one in the flesh. The value from any question at £1,265, they are a very good price point for a performance lightweight SUP. The SUPboarder verdict for the Sunova Speed 8.5, a board that's a joy to surf in lots of different conditions. This board does exactly what it says it should do, and it does it extremely well. Bert Berger's made an exceptionally good board from the first SUP that we've tested from him, and we're looking forward to testing more SUPs in the Sunova range soon. If you have any questions or comments about this board or other boards we've tested, leave them in the comments section below. And for more reviews and more detail about this board, visit SUPboardermag.com.